As strange as this may seem, you can pass through customs at any international airport in the United States carrying a counterfeit Louis Vuitton purse, a Gucci wallet, and a fake Rolex watch, and you'll be perfectly legal. But if you go online and order any of these products from a foreign counterfeiter, you're likely to have your merchandise confiscated at the border and be in hot water with the Department of Customs and Border Protection. In this video, I want to talk specifically about importing foreign counterfeits. What's legal in the US and what's likely to get you in trouble with one or more federal agencies. Hi, my name is Carr Ferrell. I'm a Silicon Valley intellectual property attorney. Welcome back to my channel. A while back, I published a couple of videos on the law of counterfeiting and why buying and selling counterfeits in the United States is socially and economically harmful. Despite the ethical and moral concerns I expressed in my videos, I still receive lots of messages, emails, and phone calls from people wanting more detail on the law of counterfeits. Specifically, what happens if you import counterfeits into the United States and the counterfeits get confiscated? I actually received quite a few inquiries from people who had counterfeit merchandise confiscated and who were facing investigation from Customs and Border Protection for the trafficking of counterfeit goods. Although importing counterfeit goods into the United States is not completely illegal, the law of importing counterfeits is pretty complicated and the exceptions are narrow. So let's start with the basics. It's illegal in the United States to traffic in counterfeit goods. Trafficking in this context means buying, selling, making, importing, transporting, doing just about anything you could imagine with counterfeit goods for the purpose of financial gain. The criminal penalty for trafficking in counterfeit goods in the United States can actually be quite high, up to $2 million for individuals and up to 10 years in prison for repeat offenders. And for a business, it's up to $5 million in penalties and 20 years in prison for a repeat offender. In addition to the criminal penalties, the owner of the brand or the trademark can sue the counterfeiter in civil court for lost damages and punitive damages up to 3 times the value of the loss. Alternatively, statutory damages are available to the aggrieved trademark holder for up to an amount of $2 million. That's counterfeiting for commercial use. Let's switch now to purchasing counterfeit goods for private or personal use. To begin with, there are no federal laws in the United States, at least that I'm aware of, that prohibit the purchase of counterfeit goods for personal use. There may be some state or local laws that prohibit the purchase of counterfeit goods, even for personal use, but in my research I haven't been able to find any. In any event, if you know of such laws, please give us a citation down in the comment section below. We'd love to learn about these. So that's it for the domestic purchase of counterfeit goods for personal use. But what about the importation of counterfeit goods, even for personal use? This is where the law gets a little bit complicated. As a general rule, it's illegal to import counterfeit goods into the United States, even for personal use, if the counterfeit good or product bears a registered U.S. trademark or a registered trademark in a foreign country that has reciprocal protection rights with the U.S. If goods are imported into the United States bearing a counterfeit registered U.S. trademark, the Department of Customs and Border Protection is authorized to seize and destroy these counterfeit products, whether the goods are for personal or commercial use. But there's a huge but very specific exception to this general ban on the import of counterfeit goods. You're legally permitted to carry into the United States on your person counterfeit goods up to the limit set by the Secretary of the Treasury as published in the U.S. Federal Register. According to the latest customs directive that I could find, customs officials are required to allow any person arriving into the United States to carry with them up to 1 article of each type bearing a counterfeit registered U.S. trademark, so long as the good or product is for their own personal use and not for resale. So let's run a hypothetical. Mary arrives at the international terminal in San Francisco. With her, she's carrying a Louis Vuitton purse, she's wearing a Rolex watch, and she's rocking a pair of Jimmy Choo shoes, all of which are counterfeit. According to the latest customs directive, assuming she has no other immigration issues, she can proceed through customs with no problem. But what if Mary is carrying 3 counterfeit Louis Vuitton purses? Well, in this case, if Customs and Border Protection notices, they're going to have her select one of the purses and leave the other 2 behind. The other 2 purses will be destroyed. But there's a big caveat here. It's one thing for Mary to import these counterfeit goods into the United States through customs. But it's a completely separate problem for her to export those goods from whatever country she's departing from. Some countries have very strict laws with respect to the possession and transfer of counterfeit goods. I understand France, for example, is very sensitive about the counterfeiting of many of their famous brands and trademarks. So let's quickly summarize. In the United States, trafficking in counterfeit goods is illegal, whether it's importing or domestic purchasing or selling for commercial purpose. It is legal in the United States to domestically purchase counterfeit goods for your own personal use. However, it's illegal to import counterfeit goods, even for your own personal use. However, there is an exception that allows you to carry with you into the United States on your person up to 1 counterfeit good of each type, with the caveat that it may not be so easy getting the counterfeit good out of the country that you're leaving. Now, one final thought about counterfeits. I've already talked in other videos about the social and economic harms that counterfeiting creates. But there's also the real risk of personal harm when buying counterfeit goods. I've seen the real stress and angst caused when imported counterfeit goods get seized by Customs and Border Patrol and the FBI opens an investigation. When Homeland Security cancels global entry privileges for U.S. citizens caught importing counterfeit goods. And honestly, among all of the clients I've worked with that have had legal issues around counterfeits, none have found the pride of carrying or wearing a fake product to be worth the cleanup mess and expense caused by illegal importing. Okay, that's all I have to say about counterfeits for now. If you found this video helpful, help others find my channel by subscribing. I'll see you on the next video.